Hi everyone, Carlos Kidman here, and today I'm going to be showing you how to get started with Pylenium IO. This is a Python package that I built to bring the best of Selenium and Cypress and smack, put them right together. So without further ado, away we go. We'll start with a brand new project. That way you can kind of see the setup that we'd like to have. So go up here, File and New Project. And let's give it a name. Let's call it Pylenium Foo. Now here is a very crucial part. You'll notice how this opened for me, sometimes it won't. You do want to have a virtual environment. This is pretty crucial in modern software development with Python. So I'll have it selected here, and it's going to be using my current version of 3.7 on my machine. So that interpreter. Just select it. This is all fine here. We'll do create, and we'll load it right into this window. Now, virtual environments are nice because they keep all of your packages and dependencies isolated to this single project, rather than having all of your packages and dependencies shared across your entire system. So we'll expand this now, and we're now going to have this virtual environment. Now, we don't really need to do much inside of here, so you can just keep this minimized. But the fact that we have this now means that I can open up a terminal, and inside of my terminal, I'll get this venv looking prefix here, right? This tells me that my current terminal session is inside of the context of this virtual environment. Again, this has nothing to do with Pylenium specifically, but it's just good to know. All right, so now with our project created, we can install Pylenium IO. We can either use pip install Pylenium IO, or we can use pipenv. Either way will work. Now, I'm a fan of pipenv myself, so I will use pipenv, but feel free to use either one that you want. Quick pause here as well, because if you are on a Mac, like this video currently is, you'll see that I'm not using pip3, or Python 3 in this case. When you're inside of a virtual environment, you no longer have to worry about switching between pip and pip3 or Python and Python 3, another advantage of the virtual environment. Let me press enter to install Pylenium. And there we are. Now that this is complete, I'll click inside of my project view, and we're going to see a few things get created for us. When you're using pipenv, it generates this pip file and pip file lock. This is really just like a manifest, if you will, saying which things are installed inside of the project. In this case, we can see Pylenium right here. And if we add any other packages, whether they're dev packages or other packages, they'll be listed here as well. The next step is to now initialize Pylenium into our project. Inside of the terminal, we're going to type in Pylenium init. The output you see here is that a conftest.py and a pylenium.json file got created at my project root. I'll click into the project view, and sure enough, we now have a conftest file and a pylenium.json. This pylenium.json file is how you can configure Pylenium. So for example, if I didn't want to use Chrome and I wanted to use Firefox, then we would simply say Firefox here, and now all of our tests will target the Firefox browser. Next step is to then configure our IDE, in this case PyCharm, to use PyTest as the testing framework. So we're going to go to PyCharm, Preferences. If you're on Windows, you go to Settings. And then here, we're going to go down to, let me get some more space, to Tools, and Python Integrated Tools. The default test runner out of the box is unit tests, but we're going to be using PyTest since that's what Pylenium uses. Once we've selected that, we'll click Apply, then OK, and the project is now configured. With that out of the way, we can now start writing tests. So let's right-click Pylenium Foo. We're going to make a new directory, and let's call this one tests. Then inside of here, we'll right-click tests, make a new file, and let's do test google.py. For this test, we're going to do a Google search for puppies because who doesn't love puppies, am I right? The way we get started is by defining a test. So we'll say test, Google search, and then Py. Notice how the IntelliSense comes up because it already knows that Py is a fixture we can use in our test. And now let's start writing our code. So this is where you would start finding the elements, performing actions against it. And if you've ever been to google.com and done a search, you know there's a few pieces. We have the search field and then submitting the search. So let's add that logic right now. Step 1 is for us to visit google.com. Step 2 is for us to find this element and type in the word puppies. In this case, this element has the name of Q, and we're going to type in the word puppies. But once we do this, we want to submit the search. A popular way to do this is with Selenium's keys.enter or keys.return. Keys.enter, and then we'll just bring in keys. Import selenium.webdriver.common keys import keys. Notice how we can combine some of Selenium syntax or Selenium functionality with Pylenium. Remember, Pylenium is just a wrapper of Selenium, so you can still do a lot of the Selenium things out of the box as well. For example, if I wanted to access the WebDriver, which is Selenium, we would say py.webdriver. And now you'll find all of the familiar functionality like finding the element. But this is just an example, of course. We don't want to do this. But it's nice to know that it's there. Once this is complete, the very last thing we want to do is assert that our search results page that we get to after submitting our search has the word puppies in it. For now, that'll be good enough to let us know that our search was successful. So assert Py should contain the title of puppies. Now it's time to run the test. I'm going to switch back to my Pylenium.json because I need to make sure that I'm going to be using a browser I actually have on my machine. Currently, I don't have Firefox installed, and so I can't use it. So let me switch back to Chrome because I know that's installed on my laptop. Switching back over to here, we'll now click play, run, and let's see how far we get. And there we go. Test passed. Hopefully, you can see how easy it is to get started with Pylenium and actually use it. It does all of the dynamic waiting for us. It has the WebDriver managed for us as well, so I didn't have to install the Chrome driver binaries or any of that. I just started writing tests. And that's exactly the experience that I wanted everyone to have using this tool. Before I leave you, the last thing I want to show you is the documentation that we have. Inside of a browser, I'm going to go to lsnowman.gitbook.io/Pylenium. And don't worry, I'll have this link in the description below. This contains everything that you can do with Pylenium, all the way from how to get started in written form, running tests in parallel or through containers, the Pylenium CLI, configuration, commands for Pylenium or the elements. Everything is inside of here. So please, 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 when you start using Pylenium, I highly recommend you use this documentation as a resource. It's going to help you out a ton. But with that, we're all done. Please, with any feedback or questions you have, send them my way. Follow me on Twitter at Carlos Kidman, or you can also follow me or subscribe to my Twitch channel where we do a lot of different activities using Pylenium or just programming, testing, and automation in general. I hope to hear from everyone soon. Thank you again for watching, and have a wonderful day.